question to the comment box to the speaker, addressing to the speaker, so that in the question and answering session, we will try to accommodate all the question nicely, of course, depending on the time, but we'll try to organize in the question and answering sessions all the questions from the participant side. So now I'm going to start the presentation parts. At the very beginning of this presentation session, we are pleased to introduce the youngest member of today's distinguished panel, whose research footprint already spans prestigious academic institutions. We warmly welcome Dr. Khondokar Jafar Ahmed, currently serving as a postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Michigan, USA. Dr. Ahmed's research explores advanced sociological analytics and interdisciplinary approaches to understanding contemporary social issues, largely on the environment field. And his work reflects the intellectual promise and global impact of the emerging scholar. Mr. Ahmed, may I invite you to join us on screen for your presentation, please?
Thank you for inviting me, and I'm really honored to be here, and I would like to welcome everyone. And it's really a nice opportunity to share my research experience or what I'm working on. And we need to think about like our academia and research. So we follow the traditional pathway, but I believe it's time now. We need to change the way we think and the way we take actions. So I would like to share my screens for my presentation. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, it is. Nicely appeared.
That's great. Yep, that's great. Yeah, hello. I'm Khondokar Jafar Ahmed, and as Tanvir introduced me, like I'm currently doing my postdoc at the University of Michigan at the School for Environment and Sustainability, and here I broadly work on climate change, health, and population issues. And today, I want to challenge us to think differently about our role as academics in the moment of planetary crisis. We stand at a crossroads where the climate emergency demands not just better research, but a fundamental transformation of how we do research. So let me share why academia itself needs to change if we are going to contribute meaningfully to climate solutions. So we are facing an existential threat. The climate and ecological crisis is not just another research topic. It threatens to destabilize everything we know, including our universities and the communities we serve. Here is the paradox. Universities are uniquely positioned to lead transformative change. We have the knowledge, the platforms, the next generation in our classrooms. Yet, our current academic system actually prevents meaningful engagement with this climate crisis. So, think about your own experience. How many of you feel you have the time and energy to engage meaningfully with climate action? The reality is stark. This is because, first, we are burning out. The pressure to publish, to secure grants, to teach overwhelming course loads, it leaves us exhausted. There is simply no energy left for the greatest challenge of our time. Second, our metrics are misaligned. Some of these things have been mentioned by our chief guest. So, as I said, our metrics are misaligned. We count citations, not community impact. We reward papers in high-impact journals, not actual high-impact work that helps communities adapt to climate change. And third, through commercialization and industry partnership, many universities are tied to the very extractive industries driving this crisis as well. So we need academia that operates within planetary boundaries, not just studying them, but embodying them. So universities must model the change, like transformation change society needs. So this brings me to a powerful framework adapted from Kate Raworth's donut economics. So just as humanity needs to operate within a safe space between social foundations and ecological ceilings, so does academia. Let's look at the inner ring of this graph. So These are the social foundations universities should provide: academic freedom to pursue truth, good, stable careers for researchers, genuine community, not just competition, real diversity and inclusion, service to society, and science that's reliable and trusted. Now let's look at the outer ring, the boundaries we are constantly overshooting. Human overload leading to mental health crises, excessive individualism that kills collaboration, toxic competition for scarce resources, the tyranny of metrics, commercialization that compromises our values, and yes, our own planetary impacts through conferences, computing, and consumption. The safe and just space for academia exist between these two rings, inner and outer rings. But here's the truth: we are failing on both sides. We are not providing the foundations our communities need, and we are overshooting every boundary that matters. This is not just sustainable. And in a climate crisis, unsustainable means unethical. So, how do we transform? Here are 7 fundamental shifts we need to make. So, the first one is from factory to ecosystem. So think about in academia. So we need to stop treating universities like paper producing machines. We always are in pressure. Hey, publish more, get more citations, or publish like something which is really in high impact journals. But this is not the fact we need to do. So we need to create living, breathing academic communities. And the second one is from cog to gardener. Just think about yourself. You are not a helpless part in a broken machine. You can cultivate change, plant seeds, nurture new ways of working. And from ivory tower to web, we are not above society looking down. We are already embedded in it. We are dependent on it, and we are responsible to it. So we need to change. And from race to rest, the rate race the rate race of endless productivity is killing creativity. So we are always pushing ourselves like to go for more funds, more publications. That means more productivity, but sometimes it's killing our creativity. We need to focus on slow science, deep thinking, and rest, which are not luxuries. They are necessaries for breakthrough insights. And from solo to together, the myth of the lone genius harms everyone. Climate solutions require diverse teams, different perspectives, lived experiences. And from hoarding to sharing. So we know about the like polarizations or some other like social concepts like inequality, as this has been mentioned by our chief guest and other, I believe like our the other speakers will mention this as well. So when resources concentrate among the elite few, innovation dies. Fair distribution unleashes creativity across all communities. And from growth to trust, more papers don't mean better science. We need to rebuild trust through transparency, reproducibility, and genuine engagement. Each of these shifts is a choice we make daily. Small actions such as choosing collaboration over competition, rest over burnout, community needs over metrics. This can trigger that systematic changes our planet urgently needs. Now, let me give you a concrete example of transformation in actions we need. The open science movement. Climate impacts, we know that like it's really complex and fast changing, and we can't afford the traditional model where data sits behind paywalls, where methods are hidden, where global south researchers can't access global north publications. But we know open science speeds up collaborations and ensures access to knowledge. And the thing is, like when we share data through the open science movement, like when we share the data, code, and methods, we strengthen trust and transparency. This is especially critical for climate research, where lives literally depend on our findings. And think about it. Reproducible workflows don't just improve for example, for my research, climate population health research, they enable communities to verify, adapt, and build on our work. So what do we need to do? We need to use fair approach. Our data should be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And we need cross-country collaboration that's genuine partnership, not extraction. We need to build scalable, low-cost open data systems. For instance, initiatives like climate mapping for resilience and adaptation. So this is a website of like US, so it's climate mapping for resilience and adaptation. So these websites show what is possible when we prioritize openness and accessibility. This is not just about better science, it's about climate justice. Communities facing the worst impacts deserves access to the best available knowledge. So generally from this website, generate like decision relevant climate data. So we can use the climate data to make some decisions for the indigenous communities. Now adapt and build on our work. So what do we need to do? We need to use fair approach. Our data should be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And we need cross-country collaboration that's genuine partnership, not extraction. We need to build scalable, low-cost open data systems. For instance, initiatives like climate mapping for resilience and adaptation. So this is a website of like US, so it's climate mapping for resilience and adaptation. So these websites show what is possible when we prioritize openness and accessibility. This is not just about better science, it's about climate justice. Communities facing the worst impacts deserves access to the best available knowledge. So generally from this website, you can see like we can generate like decision relevant climate data. So we can use the climate data to make some decisions for the indigenous communities. Now let's address the elephant in the room. This is artificial intelligence. So recent headlines capture our dilemma perfectly. So AI is simultaneously being hailed as our climate savior and condemned as a carbon intensive threat. So this publication from Nature tells us that generative AI can reduce climate skepticism and build support for action, while science warns that the same technology exacerbates the climate crisis through massive energy consumption. And the United Nations promotes artificial intelligence for climate action in developing countries, while researchers call for ethical frameworks to balance risk and responsibilities. So, what do you understand? So, the thing is, for researchers in low and middle income countries, the integrity risks are amplified. So, that means like there is a pros and cons of artificial intelligence in climate crisis. So, generally, data scarcity and the digital divide don't just limit access, they undermine the reliability of AI tools trained primarily on global north data. And when biased or low quality data sets distort climate predictions for vulnerable regions, it's not just bad science, it's dangerous. Communities make life and death decisions based on these predictions. And death decisions based on these predictions. And there is another integrity challenge: opaque AI tools, risk untraceable authorship, and misrepresentation. So we can ask, like, who wrote that paper, like AI or the others? So here, whose knowledge is being extracted and repackaged. So what does this integrity require in this new era? First, transparent disclosure of AI in research and learning, no hiding behind black boxes. And second, sustainable AI practices to monitor and minimize energy and carbon footprints. Tools like machine learning emissions calculators should be standard in every climate research project. Third, serious capacity building in vulnerable countries. This means investment in data governance, digital infrastructure, and AI literacy, not just dropping technology and leaving. So, academic integrity in the climate era means responsible AI plus reproducible science plus climate responsive ethics. We must do research good for the planet. And this captures what we are fighting for. So generally this photo I took, I think it was in 2019 when I went to uh, Tanguar Haur in Tahirpur Shanamganj. So I just wanted to include this, like I just want to conclude my like presentation. So this captures what we are fighting for. We are fighting for communities, we are fighting for ecosystems and futures. So